Okay, so good evening, everyone, once again. Yeah, yesterday we had a wonderful session, and it was super cool. I really felt I'm privileged to have you guys on board. From the questions to going through the system and we talking and conversing together, it's been an amazing one. So today I may just be quiet, lots of time in this meeting. All right, because today is more like the main business. The technical will be in charge of that. So I'm just here to just let you guys to welcome everyone of you into this meeting. So I have Mr. Moses, who is our CTO. I have Mrs. Debbie, who is also our front-end director. I also have a message Akuna, who is front-end developer. I also have the Martin Precious, a lot of our technical guys, but majorly on the back end. So four of them are part of the Edtify company. All right, we will be here to also attend to your questions after the whole session. Okay, so I'm not going to share this. I'm going to allow the CTO to take over, and then he's going to tell us how it's going to be, and then ask the front end to show you what you guys need to know. So, Mr. Moses, I'm going to hand this session over to you so that you can take over this session for me. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Savelt. Good evening, everyone. And I welcome you all to this session today. So today it's going to be more of technical compared to yesterday. So just as I mentioned yesterday, that we have a boilerplate for you. So connection to the APIs has been done, and many other things that deals with data fetching and mutation of data, all of them has been done for you. So we just want you guys to focus on the design, and you shouldn't worry that much on data manipulation. So although we have all the documentation for you, for those that would like to still see how the data stream works, that sending of data to the backend, and then also fetching the data. If you want to see that, we have a Postman collection for you, documentation rather, that you can use to interact with the API. Having said that, the major business you have here is to design your templates. And just as Velvet has mentioned, you have some of the technical guys here to help you. If you have any problem or if you need clarification on any aspect of the system, so you can always reach out to me. You also have Precious here. You have Message and Debbie. So any among us would be a good fit to clarify any gray area. So for today, Message will be presenting the boilerplates to you, and then walk you through how you can use the boilerplates to develop your own templates. And also, I don't know if we would have much time to do that today. So I'll just skip that aspect. So let me give the floor to Message. Let him do the presentation to you. And then if you have any question during the presentation, you can just raise up your hand or drop the question in the message section, and we can pick them from there. All right, Message, over to you.
Good evening, everyone. So for this presentation, I'm going to be sharing my screen. So you um, can you all see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. And Next.js, I hope you do have basic understanding of Next.js and the structure, requests, and everything. So before I go on, I would like to emphasize that I made a statement yesterday about the system being designed in such a way that you can use whatever design framework you want to. But the CTO called my attention to the fact that we do not have the flexibility as to be able to maintain code standard and monitoring and everything across various platforms. So for the meantime, please, I would like to inform you that after cloning this project, you'll be strictly advised to learn Next.js as well as MUI. We are using the MUI design library and also TypeScript. And these are the three major things you need to learn for you to be able to build a template with this boilerplate. Other than that, you also need a basic understanding of a linting environment. So you have to set up your ESLint if you're using VS Code or any other development environment. Set up your ESLint and Prettier with some of the boilerplate already comes with the basic configuration that you will need for that as well. And another extra thing I would like to add is just one major thing that is normally ignored by most developers. You can add spell checkers on your uh, editor as well. It's advised that you do that so that if you have to create any function, any extra thing you need to create, it will be well spelled properly so we don't have issues. So before I go ahead, I'd like to list the basic requirements again as stated. First of all, Next.js is required. And then MUI for design framework and TypeScript as well. And then your ESLint. So let's get started. For the index page, I'm going to be showing you also the development, the hosts, the way our design looks as it stands now with what we have implemented. So you have this is a typical system. You have the four basic plugin that we offer in our system. You have courses, exams, books, and leaks. And for the landing page, you have the category listings as well. You have the category listings as well. And these category listings are based on what the plugins that are activated on the system. So if the person activates only courses, you definitely will not need to have all this listed here. You just have course. But if they have course and exam as well, or course exam publication, you will have that. You will see on our boilerplate the way we played around those requirements. And then you have we have cards for each and every of the plugins. So your exams has a look and feel to it. Placeholders if there are no distinct, if there are no content in it as well. If there are no pictures, proper pictures, so we don't have a field, your normal field image look. We have a default one we are using. You can design yours if you want to. So each item here is basically set into two formats. You have your proper courses or publication books, um, exams, and then you have folder. You might call those categories, but we call them folder here. So if you go to a particular plugin item where you have your listings, you will also see the options to have the listings of in the folder as well. So you can visit a particular folder and then you see all the items that are in it. If there are no items in it, you have a placeholder for empty items as well. So for each items, there are the basic requirements you will need to be able to present those items in their cards. They are well described in the system. So if you go through this thing, you'll see. So let's pick one, for example. This is course. We have our components directory here. And in our component directory, we have a shared folder where we have our cards. So for the course cards, you have your type definition. Most of you might know it as props, but here we use interfaces from our listing. They are still props as well. They are still props, but TypeScript enables us to add uh, uh, um, types to each and every prop item. So you have your image component, which we have already designed to be able to handle field images and the rest. And the image components also have images for folder and images for your normal content. So this is the basic structure. Now, for a single request, for every request, we have get server side props. This is very necessary. It's very necessary we get our data from the server side so as to enable SEO optimization for every particular page that needs that. For uh, uh, for this index page as it is now, the things we need from the server side are the template data. The template data will describe everything about that particular template, and you are going to see. Let's check the center and see what's in it. Hmm.
And let me chip in this message as we
Okay,
go
so
through.
go ahead.
So, by the way, all messages showing you now, um, most of you might not even need to touch that at all, right? Of course, you're all developers. You want to see what's going on the at the page, um, on the page component, but you really don't need to because all these things has been consumed for you. If you go to the views, you will see the data there. But it's very good for you for your knowledge to understand how the data is being fetched from the server side before it gets to your view. And the card here was showing you, you might, in fact, we don't even expect you to use those cards because if everybody use the card, everybody's design will just look the same. So we expect you to come up with your own card design, with your own page design. These are just boilerplates to show you the sample of what we have now. So we don't expect you to just use the exact design that we have. Everybody should be original in their thoughts. So think of a better way to present them. So that's what will make your own template unique. So I just need to chip that in now. Message, you can proceed.
Okay, so the center now is the basic information about a particular center, or as you know it's a template. So every information you need to know about a particular template is in the center endpoints, and the center endpoints will be used to populate some of these designs. Let me go to the landing page, which you will see some of these designs. So you have your logo, your hero page image, your your sections, images and descriptions and content listings, and also in the footer you have the address, telephone, and description, little description about the company, as well as the listing of the various plugins as well. So you, as you can see here, you have the listing of all this information on this particular endpoint. So that is where what you will be getting from here. So we'll pass it as a prop to the page, to the page components, and then you can now access it in your views. So home, when you go to your view here, home, you can see we have the center props as we access some of the informations we need to construct the layout. So this is a layout. This is where you will start consuming those endpoints, those endpoint data. So everything you need to know and consume is here, actually. You probably might not be interested in anything that is inside the pages. All you need to do is to go to this particular page. So for this index, we call the view home. We call the view home, and then your components and everything. So we store the listing in our React query object as page props, and then you can access it. You access card center. You have in your card center, you have the center, the user token, the user details, and then pricing information of the center if it's a private center. So you have the center information here. This center information is, like I said, it's what you use to construct your layout, and also the landing page details. And then if you go to the next page, the next page, probably let's go to courses. You have your course listing. You come here, we get all the course list from a particular center using the center ID. You would see here we are using these props courses. We are using this we are using this component from the views here, courses as well. So for each request, for each page, you have your center. That's one of the major endpoints. That center we use to construct everything about the layout of that particular page. And then you have specific uh, uh, specific props that are for that particular page. And in this instance, we have our course list, which is passed here, and then stored as part of the page props, and you can easily access it in this page props from your components when you're presenting it. So I think that's majorly what you would need to know from these endpoints, from this boilerplate. The basic structure. You have your data from your endpoints, you go to your view, and you collect your data, and then you construct the page as it is. So you can easily, any page you want to go to, you know the structure. If you know next year's structure, you can easily look through it here and then visit our boilerplate and go to that page in particular and see the way it is, and then know what to do to design it to look more like what you want it to look like. So that's it from my end here. I'll be listening for more questions or any questions from your end, please. If you have any question.
So a message.
Okay.
Could you go back to the template folder? Yeah, you can fold the view. So in the template, you are supposed to have component and other folders there. I'm only seeing.
Okay. It's outside. The component is here. So it's outside here. So you have your utils, assets, component outside here.
Okay. Because in the template folder, they're supposed to be their own components. If you have your own components, if you don't want to use components created by that are pre-existing, and then you want to create your own components, they're supposed to be in the template. So that means every other addition you have to the code base should reside inside the template. So any new code you'll be adding to the templates, you don't need to add them to any other folder in the project. So all your codes should be in the template. So let me quickly share my screen and show you guys that.
Okay.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yep. Yes.
All right, makes sense. So here you go. So this was the view message I was showing you guys. These are the views. But you could see in the template here, you have a folder for assets, you have a folder for components, hooks, styles, and utils. So these are the folders you are supposed to add your own code. So if you are not happy with the template, with the components we have here, and you want to create your own components, you should create them inside this component. Because by the time we are done with this, everybody will be given access to clone these projects. And when you clone the project, you're going to add it to your own private repository. And then you give access to our pipeline to connect to your repository. So that whenever you push your code, our pipeline can connect to it and then pick everything you have in your template. Because we believe all your updates, any code you add at all, will be in the template. So please, if you have any alteration to make, just create your new component here, and then you can import them into your views. So this view has all the pages you need, and any other interaction you need outside what we already give to you, just add them here. So an example is if you want a new button, right? If you feel the button we have is too ugly for you, and then you want to add your own, so you can create your button component here, right? And then if you want to do your input component, everything you want to add, just add them here, and then you can import them into your views and then to use. I hope that makes sense to you guys.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. So yeah, you can ask your questions now, if there's any. So, Roderick, Ibube, go ahead. You can ask a question.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah. Yesterday, while we were discussing,
we made mention of using you can use any CSS framework, but now I'm hearing that you are only restricted to MUI. So how about those of us? Okay, should I say how about me, person that do not use MUI or don't know how to use MUI? How am I going to go about it?
So what CSS framework do you use?
I use Materialize and Tailwind.
You use Materialized and Tailwind. So
Tailwind.
Tailwind is basically CSS, a bunch of CSS
Yeah,
classes.
yeah, yeah.
So you can still use Tailwind with Material UI.
Okay.
So that's fine for you. So
Okay. So
what you cannot do is maybe you want to use Ant, or you want to use Bootstrap, or all those
okay.
thick CSS frameworks. So those are not allowed because
Okay.
we already have a foundational framework for you, and then you can just add your CSS and to it. So yeah,
Okay. So I can install Tailwind CSS to it. All right.
definitely you can.
Okay. Thank you. Sure.
Yeah. Is there any other question? Okay, so does that mean message did it nice? Okay. Mark David, please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Please, will the API, will the API details be provided before we commence development?
Yes, definitely. The API is ready for you.
Oh,
I think
okay.
a message, you have access to the API, you can show them, but we'll give everybody access to the API and for you to play around with. We also have an environment created for you that's like a sandbox environment where you can use to play with the framework and then call the API, send data there, fetch data, and do whatever you want to with the API. So all those things are ready for you. Okay, do we have to be proficient in TypeScript to work also? Yes, you need to be at least associate level good at TypeScript for you to use the code book. Because every time you push your code, we'll check your typing before we can publish what you have. So it needs to be well typed for it to work seamlessly with the project. So yes, you need to be a bit good with TypeScript to use this. I'm not sharing my screen, Omlola. Can we delete the initial components? I guess this was asked before I walked you guys through how to add your own components. So don't delete the initial component. If you need to add new component, just add it to your own component folder. Okay. Does that answer your question, Funsho? Then iTech asks, do we have to be proficient? Okay, TypeScript. Then Akinyemi, okay, yeah, all right. iTech, can I start with Tailwind? Yeah, definitely. All right. Okay, so I think we've answered everybody's question. All right, Kim, go ahead.
Sorry, I was not able to join the meeting yesterday, so I don't have much idea about it. So can I just have a brief explanation about what's going on actually?
All right,
About that.
are you on the Slack channel?
No.
Okay, you might want to drop your email with Velvet. So he will add you to the Slack channel and you can get more updates from there.
Okay, how am I going to get across to him? Also,
Velvet, please drop your email here so that everybody or anyone that needs it can get across to you. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm good with you, Kim.
Okay.
All right. Olaoluwa, please go ahead.
All right. My question is, I just want to ask, is there these particular, categories of template that we can build? Are there categories, or, the template are fixed? Or can we build any categories of template or themes?
Yeah, that's a very nice question. So we currently serve 4 plugins. That's course, that's online course, exams, publication, and league. So league is the same as competition. So if you want, you can build your template for just online course. So that means the only people that will be interested in installing your templates will be online course providers. Yeah, so you can also add exams to it to enable anyone that install your online course plugin to also conduct exam. So you can then further add publication to it so that people that have your templates on online course, they can also add documents and books and library, right? So that way they will have the 3 plugins. Then you can add competition to it. So it's optional and it's at your own discretion. But the more plugins your template supports, the larger your reach and the larger the number of people that would want to install your template. Okay, so I would definitely encourage everyone to try as much to implement all the plugins that we currently provide, because that will definitely enlarge your scope of customers that want to install your plugin.
Okay. I think I
All
need
right,
to
thank you.
add up to what you said, Moses. Good evening, and I'm sorry about my problem. I'm in a very noisy place right now. All right. So for the kind of team, the categories of team, yeah, in as much as Moses has given you the what our system supports, the 4 major plugins that we have, which can be used by different kinds of teams. But if I'm going to just maybe highlight some of the some of the teams categories, we are looking at e-learning. Now the e-learning can have all these 4 plugins that we have. So when you're doing your design, you could consider e-learning. We also have the portfolio teams for lecturers, for individual, independent people that want to have just their portfolio and things that they've built, things that they've done, their courses, their books, and all of that. Majorly for lecturers and pastors and all of that. We also have the school's website, a team for the school. So you could consider you want to look at the school sectors, secondary school, primary school, and what are the other elements that can be added, which is, of course, those elements can now be the online course, the exams, and all of that, right? We also have the ebook store, just like the Learn Africa PLC I showed you yesterday. So something like that, if you want to look at consider somebody that wants to have a complete bookstore. They already have their physical shop, but they want to have something to sell online. So you can also actually do that. We also have the remote exam fit team. So this has to do with people trying to use the system for not like an HR firm that want to conduct exams for their candidates and all of that. So these teams has to do with the HR companies conducting exam and other fields that they do. Then we also have just like Moses said, the competition, the CBT kind of competition, which has to do with people coming there to take exams in a tabular format and all of that. Then we have the e-library sector. Okay, the e-library almost similar to the e-book store, but we also have the e-library. Then we have the digital content marketplace, something like let's say the Udemy, something like the Coursera, and those ones that usually have marketplace out. They have lots of content and something like that. They may want to just come to their landing page, just start seeing things that you want to make use of, or something unique. So these are some of the categories that we have. But we will send you some little we'll send you some little things to look at so you can understand these categories, and you can choose the ones you might want to work on. All right. So, but these are just some of the few categories that we have. Then yourself as a developer, this education space is large. All right. There are some things. The major four plugins that we have, which is the exam course, publication, and the leagues. Those four plugins actually, or let me say, the major three plugins support have connection to any kind of educational sector or venture. All right. So no matter the kind of person, the kind of client, or the kind of business, they have a connection with these exams, publication, that's for books. They have a connection with courses and all of that. So just think about the people you want to satisfy. You want to create a team for this particular sector. Think about it and do something nice. Then you can now plug in, you can now add up those plugins that we already have for you. So you're only making just the stuff, let me just call it like the storefront, right? What they see, that's what you're actually building for them. I don't know if that should also clarify some of the things. All right, thank you.
Yeah, yes, that is very clear. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Saviot. By the way, please drop your email for people to reach out to you on how to be added to the Slack channel. Saviot. Yeah, and Abdul Kabir. So we are basically consuming the API and using our creativity to develop a unique design. Yes, Abdul Kabir, you are correct. You just consume the API, but we expect you to be original in your design. Use your creativity to come up with a stunning design to implement any of those four basic templates we have. So yeah, that's what we expect from you. Yeah, Musa Ahmed, please go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Clearly, I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry I joined late, but I'll be sure to watch the video afterwards. But at the point that I joined, I saw you were still sharing your screen, and it seems that you guys are still using Next.js version 12.
Yes, we are currently using Next.js version 12.
If I may ask, do you have plans anytime soon to upgrade to 13?
Definitely. Some of our applications already running on Next.js 13. Yeah, and even template as well will be upgraded to Next.js 13 in the coming days.
Okay, so we'll actually be working with Next 13.
Yeah, for now. No, for now, if you're starting now, you'll be working with Next.js 12. But until when we upgrade from Next.js 12 to 13, you will still need to be using Next.js 12. But we'll notify you when we've upgraded to Next.js, when we upgrade to Next.js 13.
Okay. So what I wanted to know was because MUI has issues with server-side rendering, making it to work together.
So yeah, we've also been using MUI for so long, right? And we've definitely solved all those issues for you. So you really don't even need to do anything concerning server-side rendering now, because all those things has been done. All the API has been consumed for you. The page is already working. The boilerplate we are giving to you is a functional one. Everything there works, right?
Okay.
The only thing you need to bother about is the design. And by the time we upgrade to Next.js 13, you might not even need to do any big thing because the major work will have been done for you. It's just to do designing alone. Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify on that because personally I preferred to work with Next.js 13 than 12 because there's just less mental overhead to think about in Next.js 13 than 12.
So you don't need to worry about that. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me let me come in. This for educational purpose to every other persons that might be able to understand whatever I'm going to say now. Mr. Musa and the rest. Next.js 13 does not restrict you from still working with components that are from working with MU components based this thing like MU and the rest, React components and the rest. It just abstracts properly the separation between your server side rendering and your client side rendering. Your server side rendering does not understand most of the technicalities that's in React, your contexts, use state, and the rest. It's purely client side, purely DOM based operations. So but with Next.js 12 and the rest, the abstraction is not that very clear, but it's done from behind. But in Next.js 13, it's very, very outlined. And so people tend to have that difficulty in understanding that separation because it seems as if you are actually, when you are rendering server side in Next.js 12 or below, you're actually rendering your components and everything on the server side. No, you are not doing that actually. Everything is still being separated, but that abstraction is not well defined. So whenever you're working in Next.js, that just know that you are still doing the same thing. The only difference is you are actually outrightly defining that separation between server-side rendering and client-side rendering. Because of this confusion,
Sorry.
Next.js.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. I don't think you get the point I was trying to make. I understand what you're trying to explain. What I'm saying is I've used Next.js 13, you understand that? And I've used it with MUI, you understand that? So usually there are some things you need to do. So I was just trying to clarify if I was sure that you guys were using 12 or 13 and that those issues were already taken care of.
Okay.
Yes.
I've actually migrated almost all the existing projects to Next.js 13. It's only this, our legacy, this thing that is still on Next.js 12. So you don't have to worry about that. So you can go ahead, build whatever you're building on Next.js 12. When the migration time for migration comes, it's simply going to be as seamless as it is now in building the component. We are going to guide you through the process of doing that. You are not going to do anything complex.
Okay, the reason why I'm raising this concern is because if after building say a theme with Next.js 12 and then you upgrade because of the way for example data fetching works differently in 12 and 13, if you're fetching data in a lot of places, which we will be since we're integrating with APIs, we might have to do significant work in order to upgrade. So that's why I'm raising this concern now.
No problem. We will take care of that. We have already put that into consideration.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right, Musa. So Mark David, you can ask a question.
Okay. So the way Mr. Velvet mentioned the, I think template or plugin, the way he mentioned them, that like they have e-learning, portfolio for lecturers, and all of that. So can someone build like a particular team like the e-learning, and can others like build everything together as one? I don't know if you get the question.
Yes, I get that. Yes, and the answer is yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I was going to quickly ask. How do you guys share funds in case you want to like share with like designers and like your affiliate marketers? Is there an inbuilt for that, like in the process for sharing the money?
I can barely hear you.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
I was asking if there is any procedure for like sharing the funds between the designers and affiliate marketer inputs into your system, so we don't really need to do that ourselves.
The funds?
Yeah, like the money made. Like,
okay, the funds. Okay.
Yes.
If there's any means, you can share it with who?
With the people, like if I have a designer that worked with me on the project and an affiliate marketer, That's like,
if you have
yeah,
a designer that works with you or
yeah,
on your own
yeah.
project, so
On our project, is there any in-depth way of sharing it, or I have to like do that personally?
you have to handle that personally. All the funds are going to your account.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, but you guys can in your own in your product account, maybe you can create an account that 3 of you has access to. This is just me suggesting it, but we only recognize an account, the developer's account, and it's only one for you. So
Okay.
just to handle how you create things among yourself. Yeah. Yeah.
That'll be a great feature to add, because yes, we should like meet up with designers and the likes. That'll be like a feature.
Yes. It's a very nice one to add, but we currently don't have that now. We definitely consider doing that. Thanks for bringing that up, Joshua. Yeah.
Yes.
Mark David.
Okay. Please, I want to know, are we the one to get the affiliate marketers to market our template or team?
No, not really. Of course, you could have your own marketer that will market your template, but from our end, we'll also be doing that for you.
Okay. That's great.
Yeah, sure. Omlola, you can ask the question.
Okay, my question is, when I was reading the PDF sent yesterday, I saw something that stated that the price of a team shouldn't be more than $19. So I want to know, what does that mean? Like, does that mean we should charge less than $19? And is $19 not even small for that kind of work?
So Vivek, you can take that if you have available.
Okay. All right. So, Omolola, yeah, we actually gave it a cap. Right. Now, the reason why we gave it a cap, what I mean, like $19 as the maximum, is because for now we understand the market, or let me just use the word, we are testing the markets. All right. Yeah, we know the fact that it may look small at first, but then we're looking at number of people that would install your team because it's actually affordable. And we know where we are in Nigeria. We know our content. We know the people that are looking at getting these things. So the system is more like a system for them to sell whatever they want to do. And if, for example, they come and they see something nice, they want to pay for it. $19, we kept it at that cap. That doesn't mean it will be $19 from that to eternity, right? No. While we are understanding the market and we understand the people's interest in, okay, I want a plugin, I want a team for $25, for $50, then we cannot start taking it up for you guys to. Oh, we're telling you guys the minimum has been increased, or the cap has been increased to maybe $50 and all of that. But for now, we're looking at multipliers effects. If I can get, it's actually something you should also look at from your end too. Whenever you're trying to do some kind of pricing aspect of your business, right? So we're looking at, if I can get 50 persons to pay 1,000, to pay, let's say 10,000 naira for my course, that means I'm supposed to have at least 500,000, right? And if I say I want to get or let me say, yeah, let's say I have like 100% or 200%, I'm paying my cost of 10,000 naira. It means I'm going to get 2 million. They're telling you guys to pay 100,000 naira for my course. Now look at the number of people that will pay that 100,000 naira. And look at the people that will pay the 10,000 naira. You use that to do your balance. So the people we are trying to bring in, or the people we are looking at becoming creators on the platform, yeah, it's going to look small, but that's why they can just easily just pay the money because it's actually cheap. All right, and then they will have access to it, and then look at the number of persons that will install that for you. So I think that's why we kept at that cap for now, but that's not a rigid or permanent maximum amount. All right, it's just for the stats. I don't know if that's clear.
All right, thank you very much. I understand you now.
All right. So Owolabi Emmanuel, you are asking. So when we started the meeting, you said that we are to use Next.js and TypeScript only, are you saying we can also build with React now? Yeah, so Next.js is just rendering React at the server side. So if you are using Next.js, you are technically using React. I don't know if there's something else you want to hear with regard to this. So you might unmute your mic and then let me know what the problem is. Because there's no distinction between React and Next.js. Next.js uses React. It's just rendering React at the server side using Node.js. So you can use Next.js with another framework. So it's definitely going to be React. Olabi, does that clarify your confusion?
Yes. I'm hearing.
All right. Yeah. Is there any other question?
I think Musa is still up.
Oh, sorry, Musa. Please go ahead and ask the question.
Okay. So my question is, do you currently support say e-commerce? I mean, as part of the themes you support right now?
E-commerce, like selling electronics products or any other products, yeah.
I mean, like, okay, say somebody wants to sell physical goods but wants to have an online store.
No. We only
Okay, you
support
only support digital goods.
Yes.
Okay, but I think supporting e-commerce will be a very nice addition because there's this boom of people trying to sell stuff now, not just selling courses and books or digital items. If somebody wants to sell, maybe he sells clothing materials, especially all these Instagram stores that people sell stuff on Instagram. They may want to have an online presence.
Yeah,
and rather than
I understand that, but for
you
now,
currently don't support. Okay. All right, thank you.
what I said, yeah. Okay, in the apps, okay, yeah, GI codes. Go ahead, you can ask a question.
Yes, good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening, GI.
Yeah, so my question is, sorry, for those of us who didn't attend the meeting yesterday, I saw the YouTube video being uploaded for the minutes for yesterday, but I just wanted to be sure if that's all we need to catch up with, in order to be up to speed, because most of what has been said in this meeting now is still new to me. So I mean, like, because earlier I checked the documentation as well, there was nothing on Slack. So I want to know if like there's any documentation that is available for us to look at and catch up with.
Yeah, so for yesterday's meeting, I believe it has been uploaded to YouTube. So that was all we discussed yesterday, the recorded one. And if you've started with us today, we mentioned that you have access to the boilerplate, the Postman collection, and the documentation. So, and if you have any other question, you can reach out to either myself, message, Debbie, or JVM. That's Precious. So we are on the Slack channel, and we'll always attend to your questions there. Okay.
No problems. I'll go back. Thank you.
You're welcome. Taribi Isaac, please go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Velvet. So mine is not actually a question, it's a suggestion. Although it may not be taken so serious at the moment, but in time, I think it will still come. And now, from the look of things, I expect whoever assigned to watch and review codes from the GitHub pull request to really go through a lot of stress and back and front. believe me, once this kickstart, I assure you, you guys will have a lot of projects coming in with a lot of corrections to make. From this session, it may seem as though most of us have understood. Personally, I have understood a lot, but not 100%. I've been at this juncture with a project who were doing this some time ago. And if I have time, I will share my experience. But now, as I said, this my suggestion may not be accomplished now, but from my past experience, I think it will be worthwhile for you guys to have where your developers should build something from scratch, implementing all the guidelines. Let me repeat that, implementing all the guidelines so that when your developer will not be correcting, oh no, this will not do this or do this one. What a project I belong to, that was what we had to do so that all those back and front were just after that session, so everybody knew what to do. But if we continue like this, I assure you, you have good templates, but because you have guidelines, I'm telling you, there will be a lot of conflicts from past experience, like I just mentioned. So anytime your developers can, come up with something that will embody, if not all or most of your guidelines, so that will be a proper guide. The documentation will be all right too. But if you can achieve that, I tell you, to reduce costs, to reduce the stress of the developers correcting things, going up and down with no people, because as we are, our level of knowledge is not the same. And this is a lot of us are very enthusiastic. So by the time they start, giving you so much to do, I think you will consider this my suggestion. Maybe to take on. That is just like to say. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Isaac. And I think exactly what you just suggested is what we have done, right? We are not just giving you the documentation. Everything in the documentation has been implemented. So the boilerplate is not just a skeleton, it's an implementation of everything we want you to do. So when you clone that page, when you clone the project, and then you build and you run the project, you will see that every aspect of it, there is nothing dummy there. Everything is what you expected to do. Okay, so everything has been implemented already. And I don't think there should be any frustration in implementing your own design, because all you just need to do is remove whatever design you have there and then add yours. So if something is not clear to you, you can always make reference to the existing projects and see how the data is fetched. So the only thing you might be having issue with, which you shouldn't, is just the data. And all those data are already fetched and presented to you on your page. And in whatever component you are removing, you could see the data being consumed in those components already. So I think it should definitely be a nice ride for you all. But yeah, we also understand that everybody doesn't have the same level of knowledge, and we are happy to take your questions. So that's why we've created that Slack channel, and you have 4 developers there that will attend to you when you have any issue at all. Okay.
No problem, Mr. Moses. Let's all be optimistic then. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Taribi. Yeah, Mark David, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Please, the boilerplate, are we like building, like as you said, the place we are going to add our code in the boilerplate is inside the template, and any components we want to create, it will be on the components folder. So what my question is, are we like building from the boilerplate, or we are building from scratch? I don't really get.
So our expectation is for you to build on the boilerplate, because everything has been consumed for you already in that boilerplate. So if you are building from scratch, that means you want to set up the entire project yourself. You want to do the API consumption yourself. You want to do the connection to the component, everything yourself. And that would take a whole lot of your time. And that was what Taribi mentioned just in the previous question I answered. So that was Taribi's concern. So we also envisage this, and that's why we have built everything for you. So I advise you, continue your development on the boilerplate. Don't
Okay,
start.
so all we just need to do is like the design, like anything we want to change, like all those stuffs.
Exactly.
Okay, that's really great.
Thank you, Mark David. So Ruben's Mensa asks, is there any other boilerplate existing for other team category like portfolio, for example? Okay, so the boilerplate we've given to you has implemented the 4 basic templates, but the one for portfolio is not part of this. But with these, you can also build your portfolio. So the portfolio is just the change of homepage, right? So it's just another design implemented with publication. So it's the same as what you have in the boilerplate. So you don't need a different template for doing portfolio. So portfolio is just someone picking the boilerplate and then building on top of it to create portfolio templates. Does that make sense to you, Rubens? I guess yes. So iTech asks, so our work is to change the code to fit our needs and not to rebuild from scratch. Exactly, iTech. Your work is to change the code to fit your design. That's just it, put in a simple sentence. All right, Akinyemi Aisha asks, how do we get what to show the designers so as to have a view of what they want to work on? So I want to believe the question is, how do you show them a sample of what you want them to work on for you? Yeah, so if you're in yesterday's meeting, a couple of samples were shown yesterday, and also the boilerplate you have has everything implemented. So everything is there. When you run the boilerplate, you see the entire page there, all the 4 plugins are consumed. So it's not left to you and then the designer to be creative about how you want to implement your menu. Currently, you could see the menu is at the top. So if you want a drop down, if you want the menu to be the way you want to do your image, the way you want your page to look like, instead of it just being those sections, you want to add them in different styles of your design. So you look at the current design and then you come up with something. So it's left to you and the designer to come up with whatever design you feel will make sense. And by the way, you are not restricted to just creating one template. I expect you to have more than one template due to how creative you are. You can create 3, 4, 5, 6 templates, 10 templates in your name. Okay, so different design, different creativity around the template. Yeah, I guess I've answered your question, Omolola. So if you are not clear, or if I didn't answer your question as you expected, please just.
You have answered it.
All right,
Thank
nice.
you.
Yeah, Mark David, please go ahead.
Please, I'm really sorry to take you back, Mr. Moses. The question Rubens Mensa asked, I didn't really get your answer on that question, please.
Yeah, is there any other boilerplate existing for other theme category, like portfolio, for example? So, and the answer was portfolio is someone taking the template we are giving, the boilerplate we are giving to you now, and being creative about it to create that portfolio template you see. Okay, so every template you create would depend on the boilerplate we have given to you. You are building on top the boilerplate. So the portfolio you are giving as example was someone's template. He took the current boilerplate and then built portfolio out of it. Okay, so just the same way Mark David will take the current template and then build maybe a secondary school system out of it. Mark David can take this and then build a template for NAPS for exam, for taking exam, or for JAMB for taking exam, right? So anybody can pick the template and be creative about it and then create different products for me.
Okay.
All right, so I guess
I think I was actually expecting some questions from you guys. Now, one of the questions I really wanted you guys to ask, which I know will definitely come on the latter time, which you guys need to be clear about is, for example, are we only going to have just one page? What if we want to create a contact us page, an about us page, all of those? I was expecting you guys to maybe looking at, okay, maybe except when you see you have the boilerplate that you consume or you clone it and then you see. But I was expecting you guys to ask some few questions like what are the other things that can be added into the system, like um, different pages that suits a particular audience. For example, portfolio. What are the other things that can be added that is not there now? Is there a possibility for it to be added up in the future? And all that? So these are some of the questions I wanted you guys to ask to get cleared on, because I want it to be in a very transition, as in the transition should be smooth, such that whatever thing you're doing, it's easy for us to provide those endpoints that you have in mind, and it's easy for the clients to also accept what you've done for them. Just like somebody asked that question yesterday, if it's possible for the person to get a client to be specific design just for them. So most clients will ask for so many things. So I was expecting you guys to ask such kind of question and see the possibilities of us. Maybe we get something that is not there, can we add it up? So Mr. Moses is here to maybe give us a guide on that. At least we have that and that picture. All right. So Samuel, let me just ask that question to you so you can, in case they need that answer. So is there possibility for them to add up more pages like about contact us and all of that?
okay, definitely. So, and I actually don't expect them to ask as much question now until they get their hands on the boilerplate and play around with it. So, and that's when people will start asking questions or start making requests on a particular functionality they need that might not be covered in the boilerplate. So in terms of adding some functionalities that are not there now, yes, definitely you can make a feature request, right? And within our timeline, we can look at it and see if it's something we can do for you. If it's something we can do immediately, then definitely we'll let you know. And if it's something that will take some time, we also let you know, and then how long it will take us to get that done for you. So, but yeah, we are happy for you to make a feature request because we are also looking at making the community very rich and then building something far beyond what we have now. This is just the beginning. With a whole lot of your ideas and then requests, we can make this far bigger than what we currently have. So all your feature requests are welcome. Please don't hesitate to push them to us. and we'll be happy to assist you. Okay. So in the absence of any other question, I think we can call it a night. Savelt, if you're happy with that.
Okay, of course, yes, I'm okay. So I believe with what you've said, everybody's clear on what to do. So we need to know where they will have access to the GitHub for them to claim the web build to start working, because you still have to start working immediately. Those that are actually that want to start working on the project immediately. So they need to know exactly where to start. They need to know when they will have access to the GitHub for and every other documentation that you need to guide them.
Okay, Justice Opara just asked a question, say, how will the company be making profit in this? Yeah, so the company makes profit from the sales of content on the in the template. So we don't make any profit from the template. All the money belongs to you. But for all the content they are selling on the template, we make some money from there. And we also have relationship with so many of the people that will be using your template, where we also make some profit from it. Okay.
Okay, also to add to that, all right, Justice. So our major concern is not necessarily that's the business model of the company. It's not necessarily the templates. The template you're building is just something to help our clients or the users feel that they own a particular website, right? The major thing that they do with our system, that's the feature that they use on the system, the courses they create, the courses they sell, the exam. Those are the major reasons why they are on the system. So the templates you're doing is just to give them that personalized feeling that okay, I have something new, something cool. So that's just it. So why the whole relationship is just to make sure that this set of persons are able to have different interface compared to another person. So that's just the internet. So that's why we don't really care so much about what is after that somebody is telling your you make the complete money, all right? While the other one is the company's business. No, that's clear, Justice. Okay, why not hire developers for team building purposes, like maybe some kind of team building department? They make a profit from the team and pay them. Okay, so we are trying to make this it's an ecosystem, just like we told again. We currently have this with the front end. We also have something with the back end. Every day new products will be coming out, right? Every day people will be coming up, bringing up new things, new ideas, just like WordPress, for example. WordPress have it's more like a content management system built with some kind of PHP and all of that. Okay, but then it was more like an open system where other developers can build and create products and business from it. So that's almost the same concept we are bringing up. We're not making it to be rigid and just in-house. No? We're trying to make it such a way that people can think of, okay, this particular Edtify has to do with creating of educational business. So that's why we didn't call it a school, online school, or online academy. No, we call it an educational business because it's going to cover different kind of sectors, different kind of business. Somebody also asked, can somebody sell physical books and all of that? We don't know how the next year will be, how next 2 years will be, or what the future holds. Some backend developer will think of this. People are actually making a request for that. They want to sell their physical books. They can bring up that particular feature, and they need developers to do it. Front-end developers to build this, right? So we are not really particular about our in-house developers. We have our in-house developers that will build our team. So you can even if you go to our system, you see that we have some teams there, we put them coming soon. We have developers that will do all of that. But this time we are trying to extend our reach So while you are even doing your work, wherever you are, you can just say you want to do some kind of thing for Edtify because it's going to be open for any developer that feels like he wants to create something and make money on Edtify. Right. So that's the whole essence. We're not trying to gather just few developers to build thousands and thousands of teams. No, we are giving it an opportunity to everyone that feels like they can do something. Then the system is open for them to build. It's an ecosystem. I don't know if that's answered the question, item. Yeah, you can just let me know so that's the feedback. All right, GI codes. I believe it's the question for Moses. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jacob.
Okay, sorry. Once again, good evening, everyone.
Yeah,
So, I hope everyone can hear me
clearly.
Okay. So, sorry. My question is, I mean, as time goes on and as development commences, would you be having sort of like maybe one-on-one meetings or like code reviews or something like that, like peer programming or stuff like that to kind of like see if we are all in sync? I don't know if maybe this is the right time to ask or if this is the right question to ask. Maybe my question is understandable for everyone.
Yeah, so when you say peer review, for every of your code you are pushing, and this is also not to discourage anybody, but all the templates you are building will still go through an approval process, right? Where when we see some obvious mistake you've made, we would definitely love to work with you to correct them or make a suggestion on how to improve on your codes, right? So in that session, we could have a pair programming session where myself or some of our developers will be on call with you to look into your code. But this is not a promise that we are always going to do that, right? In the case where we need to do that, definitely we will, right? But for every of your code, we'll make a comment if you need to change, if we need you to change anything or to make it better in any way at all. And for the community meetup and all those, I think Vivek made mention of something around that yesterday. So he can answer all those questions. And when it comes to the meetup stuff, well, for the programming review, that's your code review and PR review as well. Definitely we'll be doing that. And we ensure every code that comes into the every template that comes into our code base would need to meet up to a particular standard before it to be published. Yeah.
Okay, approved. So okay, I get that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, Mark David.
So about the payment stuff, I think someone made mention of how we get paid, and I think Mr. Velvet said we are going to create a developer's account, I think, on Edtify. So I don't know how we're going to do that.
Yes. So everybody will have a developer account on Edtify. So for every of your team that you push, it will be tied to your account. So every downloads that you have, the money will be paid directly to your wallet, and then you can withdraw the money to your any of your accounts from the platform. So
are we pushing the team through Edtify? Or you are going to be the one? Are we pushing the team through Edtify, like the developer's account through Edtify, or you are going to be the one pushing the team when you finish reviewing it?
Yes, we'll be the one to push the team when we finish reviewing.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
All right. So there's no question in the message box. So I want to assume there's no other question, but I know there will definitely be more questions after this call. So please, if you have any question, drop them in the Slack channel. I will be there to respond to you. So don't forget to mention either of us, myself, Moses, Akuna, Message, Ndamati Precious, or Deborah Sani. And you can also mention Velvet. I don't know if our QA is okay, our QA is not here, or you can also mention him as well. He will also signify in the Slack channel. Yeah. So we also create different channels for the problem specific, so that you won't be disturbing everybody in the general section. Okay. So yes, I think at this point we are good. Velvet, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Moses. Thank you, everyone. All right, so we are all clear on how we are going to go with the system. So hopefully on Monday, you will have access to the repo, the GitHub repo for you to clone, so that you can start working on your projects. Okay, and then sorry, my location is very noisy. Right, so when you have access to that repo, you can start working on your projects. You have access to both the repo and then the GitHub, the Postman collection and other documentation you will need. And just like somebody asked for guidelines, so all of that will also be added up with the documentation. And I believe everybody is clear on what Mr. Moses has talked about concerning working with the boilerplates. So I think we are all good. So thanks a lot, everyone, for your time. We believe our business together, we are going to get even better as the future comes. All right. So thanks a lot, everyone, and have a lovely night. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you too.
Thanks to you too. Bye.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.